Hey everyone, it's Gary here from Echidna Sewing. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Brother NV880E embroidery only machine. So here it is. I've unboxed this machine, I've put everything out of the box on the table, and the first thing we're going to do is have a run through what actually comes with the machine, the standard accessories, and then show you how to actually set the embroidery unit onto the machine. But first things first, we'll go through and get rid of all the clear plastic or the plastic tape that comes on a new machine. So when you do unbox a machine, it will be very, very well packaged by Brother. They're a master at making sure the machines get to where they've got to go in perfect condition. You'll see there's blue tape all around here, and that's a special packaging tape. It won't harm the machine. So you do need to go ahead and peel all those bits of blue tape off. And I'm just going to put that back over there, out of the way. So peel that off. Be careful as you do it. You don't want to damage anything. Not that you really can, but it's a good idea to be a little bit careful. Peel that off. And to get this piece of foam out, that sits underneath the embroidery foot. So just lift the presser foot and slide that away. It's a good idea to keep that if you're keeping the box. For any reason, keep the that bit of foam if ever you have to ship the machine for some reason. This machine does come with an LED presser foot, so there's the cable that plugs in at the back. We'll leave that there for a minute, take that bit of plastic off. And this piece here, and that bit is gone. This bit has got the piece of paper under the presser foot. We'll take that away. Whoops, got it caught. And one more piece here. Try and keep my arms and hands out the way. We've got a piece. Now this is an important one. This covers and holds the needle threader in place. Just be careful as you take that one off. And that's now gone and out the way. And we have one more piece there. So that's all on the machine. We'll have a look at the embroidery unit in a moment. Let's have a look at what else comes in the machine first to start with. Obviously, you've got your instruction books, quick reference guide, the accessories page gives you a list of everything that did come with the machine, instruction book. And one I like is the embroidery design guide. So this has all the different embroidery designs that are built in. I think there's about 240 odd designs built into the machine, and it's a beautiful range of designs, a lot of new ones I haven't seen on previous machines. So that's all included as you'd expect. So we'll pop that over there, and a little bit more information about the LED foot that comes with this machine, which is fantastic. So the accessory kit includes, scissors, extra bobbins, some needles, spool cap cover, some thread nets, all the things that you'd expect to have with a new machine. So we don't need to go into any detail there, but suffice to say, they're all important little pieces that you will use from time to time. So I'll just close that back up, pop that back over there. Obviously a power cord comes standard with it, and it does come with a spool of Brother bobbin fill. Now it's okay, obviously there's all sorts of options with bobbin fills these days, particularly with pre-wounds, but you can use whatever you particularly like to use as long as it's a bobbin fill. Now what I like about this model is it does come with 3 hoops standard in the box. Now that's great. So we'll start with the smallest one, which is your standard 4x4 hoop. Each hoop comes with the placement template that you can see here, and that gives you makes it much easier to get your design placements right. So you've got your 4x4 or your 100x100 hoop. It also comes, and this is great, it comes with the 150x150 or the 6x6 inch hoop. So that's standard in the box as well. And of course the big one, which is the 10x6 or 260x160 large frame. So it's a good accommodating frame on this machine. So you can do some nice big designs, and we'll pop those back over there. And also, obviously, there is a dust cover to go over the machine when it is not working or not running for you. You can keep the dust off the machine. It's always a good idea. And there's obviously the embroidery unit. So I'm just going to pull this over a wee bit. Hopefully that's in shot. But you've also got a bit of the blue plastic packaging tape on there. So let's just peel that off as well. And then there's a little piece of cardboard that does need to come out. And it's also taped on the other end there, so let's just come around this side, peel that off, and then that will just slide out, and we can peel both those bits of plastic off, and we'll get rid of those over there, and that can go over there as well. So there's our embroidery unit, and all that's left to do to turn the machine on, I'm going to do this first, is attach the embroidery unit. It's always a good idea to make sure the machine is not switched on. Always switch the machine off when you're attaching or detaching the embroidery unit. To attach the embroidery unit, we'll just move this forward a bit. It just simply slides over the free arm there, push it all the way across, and you do have a little cover here. Almost forgot, a camera guy might be able to see that just down here. And you just need to flick that up, and once that's flicked up, then you can actually push the embroidery unit in. And we'll now move this a bit back closer to the front. And there is a little tiny hole at the back for this cable to plug into. You'll see it, there's a little tiny jack at the back of the machine. Plug that in, and we're all good to go. All that's left to do is to plug the power cable into the machine now, and that obviously is on the right side of the machine. You'll see that, it's quite easy to find. And then there's an on-off switch, and we're going to switch that guy on, and the screen will light up, and we have now plugged in the NV880E, and we're about to have a good close look at what it can do. Okay, so here we are, NV880E. Now this is part of the new 2022 lineup from Brother, and quite excited by this machine because it has a lot of new features compared to the previous year's models. So what I plan to do now is we'll go through a bit of a run through on the physical aspect of the machine, then we'll dig into the control panel and talk about that and all the wonderful features on there. But first thing you'll notice, it's a really nice looking machine, and I'm on record for saying that if you part of enjoying your sewing or embroidery experience is just liking what you're sitting in front of. So having a machine that appeals to you is very important. And this machine certainly does that. So it's got quite a good size screen, considerably bigger than the previous model in this range. Touchscreen, LCD, color, and right now there's a little screensaver going through it. So if I touch that screen, this is a brand new machine, so you've got to go through a quick setup program. It's English language, so we'll just click that, and that's about it. It's going to tell me the carriage on the embroidery unit will move. And look, that's a great thing about Brother machines. Whatever you do, there'll always be some information on screen telling you, hey, you need to do this, or you need to do that, or you know, warnings, or things that you would like to make sure you get right. The screen will tell you what to do. So where it's in embroidery mode, obviously it is an embroidery only machine. I'm going to come back to the screen very soon. Now, threading the machine, very simple. This little cover pops up. All your threading is at the front of the machine. You don't have to sort of reach over the back of the machine. I like that. I like being able to see everything in front of me here, including bobbin winding. You'll notice that across the front here, we've got some buttons. You've got your needle up, down button. You've got the thread scissors, the trimming scissors, and of course the electronic foot up and down option. So next button, of course, start stop button. When it's red, nothing can happen. When it goes green, it means you can start sewing. Pretty simple. There is no foot control with a machine like this because it is an embroidery only machine, so you're only ever using the start stop button. So physically, again, moving along, you've got your foot lift, so you've got both your electronic foot lift and a manual foot lift at the back as well. So either or there. The embroidery unit is now in place. Obviously, this component here is where the hoop slides on. You've got your little lever that locks the hoop in, and there's always good clear instructions on the machine too, even threading instructions there. So moving back down, looking at other buttons here, this is all to do with your control panel, which we'll dig into in a moment, but it's really not a complicated machine. And if you've never embroidered before, if this is potentially your first embroidery machine, you're going to find it super, super easy to use. I guess first thing we might do is show you the amazingly brilliant threading system on this, because it is an automatic threading machine. And in fact, before I do that, we'll talk about bobbins. Now, with embroidery, you've got a few options for bobbins. You can wind your own using the winding system on here. or you can buy pre-wound bobbins, which I've got a few examples here. Machine uses a standard A-style bobbin, so that's good. That's a very, very popular, probably the most popular bobbin style. So I've got some pre-wounds there, and I've also got some white bobbin fill if I wanted to wind my own bobbins. I'm going to use a pre-wound bobbin just for convenience right now, and there is videos on our website showing you how to thread bobbins and wind your own. You also have, and I should mention this, there's a great set of help videos in the machine. So if you hit the little question mark button there, you can get into, in fact, there's instructions there. This is not so much a video as a simple instruction, graphic instruction on how to actually thread the bobbin, and quite handy. So just go from page to page. It'll tell you the next step and so on and so forth. We'll just get out of that for a moment. We don't need to sit and watch that. You can watch that when you get your new machine. And you will find it very, very simple. So let's have a look at how we would thread the bobbin once you have a wound bobbin. Now again, I'm going to use a pre-wound A-style bobbin. And to load a bobbin, you just flick that little clear plastic bobbin cover up and then take the existing bobbin. There will be an empty bobbin in there. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to get my fingers in the way there just for a moment. Take that out. So there's our empty bobbin. We'll pop that down there. Now there is a little guide on the front of the machine showing you which direction to thread the bobbin in, so just make sure you follow that guide. So the thread comes off in the direction of a letter P, if you could imagine that, but the indicator actually explains it quite clearly. So we drop the thread in there, and I'll try and keep my fingers out of the way here, and the thread then just pulls into a little guide just here. And with this quick set bobbin system, we just pull the thread around to this side here, and there's a little cutter under there. Just give that a pull, and that's cut the bobbin thread. The bobbin is now inserted. We pop that little clear plastic cover back on, and your bobbin is all done. Now, in years gone by, you've always had to draw the bobbin thread up through the top of the needle hole and hold it when you started sewing or embroidering. That doesn't happen on this. You just cut the thread off and leave it there. You don't need to draw that up, which means these machines are virtually jam-proof. So pretty simple. Now, let's have a look at threading the machine. I'm using a spool of the Hemingworth embroidery thread, and these are the spools that come with the little clear plastic caps, and I can leave the thread in that spool as I pull it out. If I'm using this particular spool, I can lay it down in the little thread spindle here. I would take that little clear, or the little cover plate off, the plate that holds a normal spool in place. I don't need to use that when I'm using a Hemingworth spool. I just pop the thread in there. Because this clear plastic cover is on the spool, it means the thread can't get tangled or caught anywhere. Now, threading an embroidery machine, or any machine for that matter, just make sure your presser foot is in the up position. So it needs to be up. And when it's up, these machines are clever because they have a little gate up here that if you don't have the presser foot in the up position, it won't let you thread it. So that's good, because so many people thread machines with the presser foot down, and you don't thread it correctly, and then when you start sewing, you'll end up with a big bird's nest of thread and a horrible result. So almost impossible to do that on this machine. Presser foot is up, and it's numbered. So we go to number 1, then around to number 2, follow that path around. Let's get that in there. All the way down to number 3, then up to number 4, and across. And up here is what's called the take-up lever, and that's number 4. You must get the thread in that take-up lever. If you follow the instructions, you will get it right. So down to number 5, and then number 6 is just on the needle bar. So there's a little guide there. Make sure the thread is pulled in there correctly. And once I'm in there, I like to give the thread a bit of a pull, hold the thread back near the spool. That just makes sure that the thread is entered in all the right areas that it needs to be. Now, here's the magic. Love this needle threader, and you're going to love it too. So from number 6, it goes to number 7, just over here. And we just hook that into number 7 and then cut it off around the side here. Whoops, I'm not sitting in front of it, so I'm a little bit blinded. Cut that thread away with a little guide under here. And all we have to do now is put the presser foot down, and this lever on the side here, just pull it down in one hit, and it threads the needle for you. Once you've threaded a machine with an automatic needle threader like this, you will never want to do it any other way, I can assure you. So that's threading, really simple. Let's dig into some of the fun features. So the NV880E is loaded with great features on screen, and that includes 258 built-in embroidery designs. Very, very easy to access on a beautiful color screen. Again, a bit bigger screen than the previous model. So If you want to dig into one of the menus, you just touch it, and you can use your fingers or you can use a stylus if you like. The screen's very resilient, and as long as you don't hit it with sharp objects, it'll be fine. Just use your finger is fine. When you select on a different menu, it'll come up with a sub-menu. For instance, this one has 18 pages, and I can scroll through each page by just hitting the arrow buttons backwards and forwards. If I wanted that lovely little sunset design, there it is. Now, once it's on screen, I can just hit set, and I can click and move it anywhere on screen I like. I can also frame it into a hoop and see what it's going to look like in whatever hoop it is that I want to use. So, for example, if I wanted this to sew out in the 5x7 hoop, it will actually show me a kind of a good reference to that design in that hoop size. So it's a really easy way to kind of get a real gauge of the size of a design. Of course, all the built-in designs, you've got the quick reference guide or the design guide that comes with the machine in beautiful color with all the color stops and everything shown in the guide. So if that's the design we want, I can, as I said, move it around. I do have some basic sizing capability on this machine, but generally you won't be sizing it any more than 10%. While sizing is okay up to about that, you need to have a machine that's got a stitch processor in it to actually size any more than that. But we could resize it if we wanted to. We can rotate it, we can move it, we can go through and change colors of the design on screen if we wanted to. I don't need to do that right now. Again, if I was going to go through every feature on this machine, we could spend the next 24 hours still not get through it all. But you've got mirror image and all the standard things there. Now, if you wanted to add some more to that, you could bring in another design by hitting the add button, and you could go and find another simple design. Let's add that design. Now I've got two designs on screen, and I can move either to any location I want by just simply clicking on the design and dragging it around to where it wants to be. If I wanted to delete that one, just go ahead and hit the delete button. Now, that's not going to delete the design from the machine. It's just taking it out of the current screen that you're working in. If you wanted to add text, it's really good for text because I think it's got 13 fonts built in. So we could choose our lettering options. We could take, we'll just go standard font, and we'll type in something pretty simple. We'll just put in ABC, for instance, right now. So once you type that in, you can go set. Now that's quite a large size, but you can resize the text. Now here's the thing, if you resize the built-in text, it will actually recalculate all the stitches for you. So you can size till your heart's content there. And we could hit that sizing button and make that a wee bit smaller. Do that there. Click OK, and you can also change the density on the text, and that's pretty handy if you're doing some names on a t-shirt or something and you're just not quite happy with the density. You can actually adjust that on the machine. And you also have font edit, so you can have a multicolor font. You can array the text. If you wanted that on an arc, for instance, I could now pull that up there and position it where I wanted to, and I can change the actual scale of the arc or the degrees of the arc there. I can put it on a stair-stepping option here, so we could have it, you see there, it's kind of cool. It's a bit like word art for your embroidery. So if you're happy with that, just click OK. And you can even have multi-line text, and you can change the fonts within a line of text. So again, there's loads of great features built into this machine, and it would take quite a few hours to get through them all on a quick video like this. So click OK. If we're happy with what we've got there, we would just hit the Edit End button. And at this point, we've got more options. We can still rotate the design. We can do a trace of the design, and we'll put a piece of fabric in a hoop soon and have a look at the LED pointer. I could save that design back to either the machine's memory or to the USB. So if you, or Wi-Fi back to your computer if you like. So if it's a design you plan to use again, let's just say you've done some customizing and editing and you think you'll like to sew it out again, save it for future use. You can do that very easily by clicking the pocket button there. So once you're ready to sew, all you've got to do is hit the embroidery button, and the next screen means that you are good to go. And if I put the foot down, I haven't got a hoop on yet, but if I put the foot down, the light will go green and we can go. But anyway, I'm not going to stitch that design. But it's very simple to load designs. Now that was just playing with a couple of built-in designs. One of the things that is fantastic on this new model is that it's a Wi-Fi machine. So I have got a USB in the machine at the moment with a whole heap of our Echidna designs on there. So we're going to plug that in and just quickly show you firstly how you would load a design from the USB, and then we'll have a look at how it would work from Wi-Fi. So let's go back out of there. We'll just escape out of all that, and we're back to our standard screen. Now, if I wanted to load a design from the USB stick, I would just hit the little pocket button here, choose my USB symbol, and there's about 1,000 designs on this USB. Not all in the same folder. They're all spread across different folders, which is important. But if I wanted to grab a dinosaur design, there's the PEZ folder there. And this machine uses the PEZ format, so that's the language. Or it will also use a DST file. But PEZ is going to be your preferred one because the color selections are going to be easier for you. So you just choose the design you want, hit set, and then we can go through and edit and move and resize and do all the things that we spoke about just before. But that design is now on screen, and if I hit edit end and embroidery, it's now ready to stitch. Now, to get that design via Wi-Fi, it's very, very simple. So we'll escape out of that screen again, go right back to the home screen, and I'm going to take that USB and I'm going to plug that into my little laptop computer here, which hopefully you might be able to see. It's a pretty simple process. We've downloaded the appropriate design database transfer program from Brother, and all the information on how to do that is actually included with the machine. It's very simple. And once that's downloaded, the program, let me just close that down. Hopefully Camera Guy's got the computer and screen as well. I've got the program open here. All I've got to do is navigate to my USB drive. There it is. I'm just going to choose a folder. Let's grab, I don't know, it doesn't really matter what we get. We'll open up this folder here. More dinosaurs. Everyone loves dinosaurs. Choose the PES files. There they are. If I wanted to send this design to the machine, I would just select it. Whoops, not real good with these touchpads. Just select the design, send it down to the transfer panel down here, and there's a little option down here that says send transfer to machine. That is now sending across to the machine. It says finished outputting design. So once we've done that, all I need to do is go back to my machine screen, click on the little pocket button, Wi-Fi, and there's the design I just transferred. Set, and now we're back into the same place that we were prior. We've sent the design from the computer to the machine. Now that database transfer program lets you manage your designs and see all the designs that you might have on your computer. So that's pretty cool and is standard. Another feature this machine has is it will automatically now trim jump stitches. So at this price level, kind of in around that mid-price point, many machines will not trim jump stitches. The previous model of this one didn't. And what that means is you won't end up with all those long stitches across your design that you have to go back and trim after the event. They can be quite pesky because if a long stitch gets sewn into the design and then the subsequent row of stitches kind of stitches over it, you can sometimes see them. So this will automatically trim your jump stitches for you, which is really, really handy. So let's take a look at what else we can find. Okay, so we might run a quick design on here and we'll just quickly look at how the LED pointer can be a real advantage. So I've just hooped up the 150 by 150 hoop with a little bit of batting and a nice fabric there. And I'm going to stitch one of these beautiful built-in monograms. There's two monogram styles built into this machine. So if we click on here, I love these here. The large alphabet there, beautiful, beautiful stitching. So I'm going to do the letter B, for instance. And we'll just hit set and edit end. And we have an option up the top here to turn on the LED pointer. So if we click that little button, you'll see now, camera guy can see it, the LED pointer's now glowing red on the fabric. And I've got a center point mark there. I've got a blue mark, which is where that's the center of my design. That's where I know I want it to be. So all I need to do now is just move that LED pointer so as it's directly on top of that there. And the blue dot, and I know I'm pretty much in the center, down to a fraction of a millimeter anyway. And there is also an adjustment on here for different fabric thicknesses, so you can actually adjust the LED pointer to be even more accurate, because obviously when you have different fabric thicknesses, the LED is going to be slightly in a different position. So that's really handy to be able to get that perfect perfect alignment. So this is a 5-color design. We're going to quickly run it through and then take a look at the stitch quality. So we'll fast forward it on the screen, of course. So I'm all set to go. I've got my machine threaded with the first thread, which is gold. All I've got to do to go to embroidery mode is hit the embroidery button, and there it is. It's deep gold that we want. So just now, here's another feature on this machine. It has an auto foot down function. So on previous models in this range, to start embroidering, you had to hit the foot button to put the foot down, and then you would hit the go button. But you'll notice that even though my foot is up, the light is green here, and that means I can start stitching. So if I hit that button, it will automatically lower the foot, and off we go. That's done. Now, what you couldn't see and hear on the camera was just how quiet and smooth this machine is. It's actually substantially quieter than the previous model, and they run pretty quick too. So they run up to, I think, 850 stitches per minute. We'll check that in a moment. But it's finished sewing, so all I've got to do is hit the OK button. I can now slide that guy out. So just lift the little lever on the hoop mechanism, take that out, trim those extra few little jump stitches or trim stitches off, because I don't want them anymore. I know my hand's probably getting in the way there, but sorry about that. Got to use my hands, so I'll just trim that off with these little snips. That's got it. And beautiful stitch, beautiful quality on the back. Everything's beautiful. That's a lovely result. And I could use that in a subsequent project I'm doing. So all in all, it's a really simple machine to use. It's very well featured. It's kind of in a nice price point within the range. Simple threading, great instructions on screen, nice bigger screen, and let's just get out of there. There's a couple more things I want to show you on the screen before we finish up this video, and that is going into the settings pages. So if I go into that page there, the little page symbol, this is where you can actually nominate whether what hoop you want to see, so you can actually see the hoop on screen and work within that hoop size. And again, it goes up to quite a large accommodating 160 by 260 hoop, which is pretty big. Scroll through the different pages there. You can choose from a number of different thread palettes. Madeira Poly, Madeira Rayon, Sulky, Robertson Anton. I wish there were more, but that's what it is. I normally leave it set on just the embroidery palette, and I like to use the name of the color rather than a color number. And the reason for that is if I'm looking at a design and it says chocolate brown, I've kind of got a pretty good idea what chocolate brown is. I have no idea what color 2146 means, so I like to see the name of the color. Yeah, 850 stitches per minute maximum, and you've also got very easily controlled embroidery tension here. Again, it's a Brother machine, and they're just so reliable and so predictable. You'll see there's a little black box behind these numbers. That means that's the standard factory setting. So if you're ever not sure about what you should have something set on, just change the setting till you see the black box, and that's your starting point. Now with your embroidery tension, you can go right up to +8 and down to -8. And when you change this tension here, it will stay there until you change it again. So it's good if you like to use a specific type of thread, and you find it runs a bit better with a lighter tension, just leave it set there. But otherwise, start with your 00 setting. Let's go through, see what else we've got. Automatic foot up, I mentioned that before, so this is a great feature. It means that you don't have to be lifting and lowering the foot every time you want to start your next color change, so you can leave that set on. Embroidery foot height, that allows you to control the height of the foot above the fabric. Some machines in these price ranges don't have that, so having embroidery foot height means you're in control. And again, 1.5 millimeters is the standard setting, and you can raise or lower that depending on what you're actually stitching on. You've got some extra options for selecting different color backgrounds on your screen and so on, and you can personalize the screen to what you want, and we don't need to dig too far into that. You can change the size of the thumbnails when you're looking at designs. I personally like to have it on the bigger size. My eyesight's not as good as it used to be. You can have millimeters or inch settings. I like to leave it on millimeters. And you've got the adjustment. I mentioned that before. So different thicknesses of fabrics, you can adjust the accuracy of the LED pointer that guides you to the center, or to the mark on the fabric that you want to set the needle to. So you just hit the start button. It'll tell you what to do there. and needle up, down. You can have the needle stop in the up or down position. I generally, well, either way, down, probably down is as good as anything. Your call. And you can turn the buzzer on, so if you're embroidering late at night, you don't want to wake up the family and don't want anyone hearing the little beeps, you can turn the little machine beeps off. You can have it open up in an opening screen. You can set your language. You can turn the light on and off, and also the sensitivity of the touch screen. So that's kind of cool. But again, I haven't had to adjust ever really that setting. And finally, this is a brand new machine. In fact, I've just done the first design on it. 7,289 stitches is what it has done, and tells me the version of the software. It's also, from a service point of view, when these machines come in for service, we reset the service count, so we know how many stitches it has done between service intervals. So that's pretty cool too. That's great for the techs. And this is where you set your wireless network up. So I have mine on my Echidna Guest wireless network here, and you do need to have that set on the same network that your computer is on for you to use the wireless design database transfer options. So pretty simple setup. You just follow the wizard, click that, and it will take you through the process. This machine is just come in with the name Sewing Machine 379. You can change that name to anything you want. So if you have a couple of Brother machines with Wi-Fi, you can actually call it, whatever you want to call it. So just hit the change button there. And not sure what others does. Oh, that's getting into more manual settings for your network. You won't need to touch that. So we'll just get out of there. And I'll just click OK. And this tells you right now there is another version available. So you can check without having to go to your computer. You can check if there's a new version update available for your machine. So the control panel is very, very easy to use, very useful. All in all, this is a great middle-of-the-road embroidery machine. It's got a 5-year computerized and electronics warranty, 3-year mechanical warranty, supported by Echidna, of course, and we always have great deals, so check our website. I'm impressed with it. It is the new 2022 model, and I think it's got substantial benefits over the previous model. And the thing that I probably thought was a surprise was the previous model was already quiet. This one's even quieter. So I don't know how Brother do it, but they just make machines that stitch beautifully, smoothly and quiet, and just give you a great result. Look, that's about it for now. If you have any questions, there's one other thing I did want to mention is Brother have also now released the 5x7 or the 130 by 180 magnetic frame kit, and this will work on this new model. So this is, I think we've got another video on this on our website, so check that out. But magnetic frames are becoming very, very popular, and this is a genuine Brother product, and it will work on the NV880E. All in all, great machine. I think anyone who's steps up from their entry-level embroidery machine, this is a good way to go. Embroidery only. There is embroidery and sewing versions of this as well, so check them out on our website. But that's it from me for now. Happy embroidering, and see you next time. Cheers.